Have you ever been lying in bed, ready to fall asleep, when your brain suddenly replays something embarrassing you did years ago? Maybe it was an awkward conversation, a joke that nobody laughed at, or a mistake that everyone else has probably forgotten. Yet somehow, your mind brings it back with incredible detail, almost as if it happened today. Why does this happen? Why does your brain choose the quietest moments of the day to remind you of memories you'd rather forget? The answer isn't that you're weak, overly sensitive, or incapable of moving on. In fact, there's a fascinating psychological reason your mind works this way, and once you understand it, you may never look at these late-night memories the same way again. One of the strange things about embarrassing memories is how alive they can feel. You may not remember what you ate for lunch 3 Tuesdays ago. You may not remember the details of an ordinary conversation from last month, but somehow your brain can still replay a tiny social mistake from years ago with almost cinematic precision. The awkward pause, the sentence you wish you had not said, the way someone looked at you, the feeling in your body when you realized you had done something uncomfortable. And perhaps the most painful part is this: the memory usually seems much bigger to you than it probably was to anyone else. Psychologists have a name for part of this experience. It is called the spotlight effect. In a well-known study by Thomas Gilovich, Kenneth Savitsky, and Victoria Medvec, researchers found that people tend to overestimate how much other people notice their appearance and actions. In simple terms, we often feel as if we are standing under a spotlight, even when other people are barely paying attention. This matters because embarrassment is not just about what happened. It is about what we imagine other people saw. When you remember an embarrassing moment, your mind may not simply be replaying the event. It may be replaying the fear of being judged. That is why a small mistake can feel so large in memory. You are not only remembering the words you said, you are remembering the feeling of being exposed. And for human beings, that feeling matters deeply. We are social creatures. For most of human history, belonging to a group was not just emotionally comforting. It was important for safety, cooperation, and survival. So the brain learned to pay attention to moments that might threaten social belonging. A moment of embarrassment may not be physically dangerous, but emotionally, it can feel like a signal. Be careful. Do not repeat this. Remember what happened. This is one reason emotionally charged memories can stay with us longer than neutral ones. Research on emotional memory suggests that experiences connected to strong emotion are often remembered more vividly than ordinary experiences. The brain does not store every moment equally. It gives extra weight to moments that feel important. And embarrassment is a powerful emotional marker. It says, "This mattered socially," even if years later, the event no longer matters at all. But that still does not fully explain why these memories often appear at night. Why not during breakfast? Why not while answering emails? Why not while walking down the street? The answer may have something to do with what happens when the outside world becomes quiet. During the day, your attention is usually occupied. There are tasks to complete, messages to answer, sounds in the environment, people to respond to, and small decisions to make. Your mind has somewhere to go. But at night, especially when you are lying in bed, many of those distractions disappear. There is no conversation to follow, no work task in front of you, no screen if you have finally put it away. And in that stillness, the mind often turns inward. Neuroscience research has linked inward-focused thought, self-reflection, mind-wandering, and autobiographical memory to a set of brain regions often called the default mode network. This does not mean the default mode network is the embarrassment center of the brain. That would be too simple. But it is involved in the kind of mental activity that often appears when we are not focused on the outside world, thinking about yourself, remembering the past, imagining what others think, replaying social experiences. In other words, the quiet of night creates space. And sometimes, into that space, the mind brings unfinished emotional material. not because it wants to hurt you, but because the mind is constantly trying to make meaning. This is also why an embarrassing memory can feel stronger when you are tired. At the end of the day, your mental defenses may be lower. You have less energy to redirect your thoughts. A memory that would be easy to dismiss at noon may feel overwhelming at midnight. During the day, you might think, "That was awkward, but it is fine." At night, the same memory can become, "Why did I do that? What did they think of me? What does this say about who I am?" The event has not changed, but your state of mind has. There is another important piece: sleep and memory consolidation. Researchers have long studied how sleep helps the brain process and stabilize memories. Sleep is not simply a shutdown state. The brain continues to work, sorting, strengthening, and integrating information from waking life. This does not mean every embarrassing memory at night is proof that your brain is actively processing trauma. That would be too strong. But sleep and the period before sleep are closely connected to memory, emotion, and reflection. So when a memory appears before bed, it may be part of a broader pattern, the mind reviewing what felt unresolved, emotional, or socially important. And embarrassing memories often feel unresolved because they rarely have a clean ending. No one usually says, "Do not worry, I forgot that awkward thing you said." No one sends a message 5 years later saying, "By the way, that moment you still think about meant nothing to me." So the brain fills in the silence. And unfortunately, it often fills it in with self-criticism. This is where embarrassment becomes more painful than the original event. The original moment may have lasted 10 seconds, but the mental replay can last for years, and each replay can make the memory feel more important than it really was. This is one of the great tricks of memory. Repetition can create the illusion of significance. If a memory keeps returning, we assume it must mean something. Maybe it proves we are awkward. Maybe it proves we are careless. Maybe it proves everyone noticed. But a memory returning does not always mean the event was important. Sometimes it means the feeling was intense. There is a difference. An embarrassing memory is not a complete biography of who you are. It is a snapshot of a moment when you felt socially exposed, and snapshots can be misleading. They freeze 1 second and make it look permanent. Think about how you remember other people's embarrassing moments. You probably do not remember most of them. You may remember someone tripping once, saying the wrong word, or making an awkward joke. But even if you do, you probably do not build their entire identity around it. You do not think about it every night. You do not define them by it. Yet when it comes to ourselves, we often assume others are holding our mistakes with the same intensity that we are. This is the spotlight effect again. We are always at the center of our own experience, so it is easy to forget that other people are usually at the center of theirs. They are thinking about their own awkward moments, their own worries, their own memories they wish they could erase. This does not make your embarrassment fake. The feeling is real, but the story your mind builds around it may not be fully accurate. You may have been seen for a moment, but that does not mean you were judged forever. You may have made a mistake, but that does not mean the mistake became your identity. You may remember it vividly. But vividness is not the same as importance, and this is where self-understanding becomes powerful. Because when an embarrassing memory appears at night, the instinct is often to fight it, to cringe, to push it away, to tell yourself, "Why am I still thinking about this?" But sometimes, a gentler response is more useful. Not because the memory deserves attention, but because the part of you reacting to it may be asking for reassurance. That part may still believe the moment was dangerous, that it changed how people saw you, that it revealed something unacceptable about you, and maybe what it needs is not another round of punishment. Maybe it needs context. It was one moment. You were human. Other people were probably paying less attention than you feared, and even if they did notice, they moved on with their own lives. This does not erase the memory instantly, but it changes your relationship to it. The goal is not to force the brain to forget. The goal is to stop treating every returning memory as evidence against yourself. Because sometimes the brain brings back embarrassing memories not because they define you, but because it once believed they were important to protect you. It was trying to help you learn, trying to help you belong, trying to help you avoid pain. But a protective system can sometimes become overactive. It can keep warning you about a danger that no longer exists. A social mistake from 10 years ago is not happening now. The room is quiet. You are safe. The people from that moment are probably not thinking about it. And the version of you who made that mistake was simply trying to live, speak, connect, and be accepted, just like everyone else. So the next time your brain brings back an embarrassing memory at night, you might try to see it differently. Not as a punishment, not as proof that something is wrong with you, but as an old emotional signal resurfacing in a quiet moment. A signal from a mind that remembers pain because it wanted to protect you from feeling it again. And perhaps the most freeing realization is this: the moments that make you cringe are often the same moments that prove you were participating in life. You tried to speak. You tried to connect. You took up space. You were seen, even imperfectly. And being imperfectly seen is not failure. It is part of being human. Maybe your brain keeps bringing those memories back at night because it never received the message that the danger has passed. So perhaps, gently, you can give it that message now. That moment is over. You are not there anymore. And one awkward memory does not get to define the whole story of who you are.